Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Connect Africa. So today we have a breaking news from Burkina Faso. The government of Burkina Faso has expelled a UN representative, that is the United Nations representative that was appointed by the United Nations Secretary General. Now, who is this person? Why did they kick her out? It's a she, and the previous background with regards to UN representatives appointment in Burkina Faso is something that we are going to look at in this video. So now this was shared by the news was actually on a government news platform, that is faso7.com or faso7 TV. This is the lady, okay? This is a lady who is expelled. Her name is Flor Smerziniak, who was appointed by the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres himself. Now, the reason we are going to look at what did the government of Burkina Faso said with regards to this. Yeah, so here is the thing. Now, the Burkina Faso government has expressed its outrage at the United Nations Secretary General report. The report is on children and armed conflict in Burkina Faso. That's how it reads. So they are saying that they are recruiting children in the conflict, meaning as government military or to the government army. So in this report that's presented to the Security Council under the title of Children and Armed Conflict in Burkina Faso, that's where the disagreement comes. Now, the government spokesperson of Burkina Faso, Gilbert Ouedraogo, shared the government's reaction in a statement that was shared by on 18th of August, that's yesterday. So here this is what it says. Considering that this document was drawn up without consultation with the national authorities and that it contains serious untruths, this is in quotation, serious untruths, the executive decided to declare Carol Flor Smerziniak, resident coordinator of the United Nations system in Burkina Faso, persona non grata. So I hope you all are familiar. Persona non grata means, it's a Latin term basically, which means that the diplomatic mission or the diplomatic appointment of that person in the host country has come to an end, and that person is not welcome anymore, and that means the person has to leave immediately the country. Sometimes the government might give like 72 hours or something, or for 24 hours. In this case, I don't see any any ultimatum in it, but she is granted a person non grata. Now, in the statement, the Burkina Faso's government statement, the spokesperson deplores that the fact that the report co-chaired by the country-led task force was produced, quote opens, without involving the relevant national structures and without tangible evidence to support the accusations of violations of children's rights. He emphasized, meaning the spokesperson, that the document contains neither, quote opens again, neither investigation reports nor court rulings, and that it amounts to a compilation of baseless assertions. So that's what the statement from the government of Burkina Faso says. Now, as a result, the government of Burkina Faso considers this UN coordinator, Carol Flores-Merzignac, not credible as an interlocutor for continued cooperation. However, the government reaffirms its commitment to the ideals of the UN and its willingness to work with representatives. He termed it as resolutely committed to true and sincere report. And that's where, the statement ends. So, well, I mean, you may all remember, I mean, first of all, this is a very good action taken by the government of Burkina Faso whenever any international institution, it can be a business company, it can be the United Nations agent, or it can be any investor in the country, whenever, the host country has its own rules and regulations, and anyone who comes there as a missionary should respect those rules and regulations. And that's exactly what the government of Burkina Faso has shown. You have crossed the red line. There is a boundary here. Your reporters do not have evidence, and we are not going to entertain this. Plus, we have appointed also, there was a task force that was, together from the government side and from the UN side, and you have not consulted us well enough. So, they have shown who they are, and this sets of actually a precedent for any action that's going to be taken by these UN representatives, UN agents, or embassies, or investors, foreign companies, whom they think that they can do anything they want. They can come up with any report they want and send it to big media and defaming and demonizing a sovereign country like Burkina Faso. They cannot get away with it. So that is the signal this action by the government of Burkina Faso is sending. Now, you may ask, what did the United Nations say from its side? So from another report, not from the government, I got this, okay? The report was, here is what it says. Now, the UN has been approached for a comment, and the report was published. This report was Children and Armed Conflict report, was published in April, and accuses both jihadi groups and government forces of abuses against children, including their recruitment as soldiers, sexual abuses, and attacks on hospitals and schools. Now, this is, by any means, the recruitment of children in army, whether it's a government or rebel groups or jihadist groups, it doesn't matter. It should not be entertained. It should be condemned. But we all know how those jihadist groups or terrorist group, whatever name you are giving them, are operating in the Sahel region. When I say the Sahel region, it's big. Actually, I'm not talking about the greater Sahel, but this has to do with Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Those countries are the one who have cut their ties with their previous colonizer, and this was not, of course, welcomed by the Western world, and they have also kicked out the French military, the US military from their country, and they have closed the embassies, meaning I'm talking about French embassy. And they started to own back. They are on the path of owning their own natural resources. Again, this is not something that's not welcomed by the West and its investors in the region, because basically they have been enriching themselves from the resources that they have been taking from this region, like uranium, gold, and there are many others, but these are the main ones. Okay, this they are saying that. The report says from the UN that they have accused both the government and the jihadist group, but we all know the background of it. So of this, the jihadist group, I mean, they're just joking. These groups are the governments have said it. They have shown evidences. Are the terrorist groups there are trained and sponsored by France and its allies in the West. Okay. Now, another thing that I want to bring in this is that back in May, you all remember that there was a lady from the UN, the United Nations, UNICEF, a new representative appointed in Burkina Faso. And I myself come here and talked about it. And I invited also our sister Choice from Nigeria, who has, more than 2 decades experience in the United Nations, and we all said Burkina Faso has to take care in terms of how they are welcoming these people. But we all agreed, me and her here, that Burkina Faso, given the actions that they have been taking, how non-apologetic they are, so they know what they are doing. This is something that we have agreed. So this seems that this fact, what just happened, granting a person non grata to this UN system coordinator or representative in Burkina Faso, Carol Smizerniak. Okay. This actually demonstrates how Burkina Faso is willing at the same time, to cooperate with the United Nations, but also they can say no when it comes to something that does not agree with the rules and regulations, and also when they are coming with false reports. This is exactly what they are doing all over Africa and other countries. Whenever there is a leader that's not bowing to the Western system, they just go to their mainstream media of the Western media, saying that this person, this leader is this and that. There are rebel groups. They just demonize, character assassination is what you call it in media. So well done by Burkina Faso. Now their answer, the statement from the Burkina Faso government, will not be shared by the mainstream media. So here at Connect Africa, what we are doing is that we are giving also the real reason why this lady is given person non grata. You can see BBC, the Washington Post, CNN, they all are saying, oh, the junta-led government has kicked out or gave a person non grata to the United Nations representative. Well, there is a story to it, and there is something that the UN has done, which is coming out with a false report. So this is where we want to stress as a Pan-African platform. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. That was it with regards to Burkina Faso. Let us know in the comment section, what do you think of the action taken by the Burkina Faso government? And the last statement, where also the spokesperson said, Burkina Faso is open for true sincere reporters and cooperation with the United Nations. Would love to hear from you. Thank you very much again for tuning in and for all your inputs and supports. We appreciate that. We don't take it for granted. It's a bye-bye for me for now, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao.